Hello fellows, sometimes it can be quite intimidating to see all these numbers change if you do your tone settings in Lightroom, and what you can do instead of just moving this sliders here and getting a little bit overwhelmed by the numbers, you can go directly into the histogram, and then you can see that this first area here, for example, is representing the blacks. You will also see that in the tone panel the blacks will be highlighted, and the next area would be the fill light and exposure and the recovery, and you can slide all this here just like you want. At the moment where I press the mouse button and move it from right to left and left to right, you will see that the area is still marked in the histogram, but that the mouse button, the cursor is disappearing. But you see how the number for exposure here, for example, is changing. So I reset this by double clicking on tone, and then we go a little bit more with some structure here to edit all this. I highlight here this to triangles, and the left is for the highlights, the right one is for the highlights, the left one is for the black level. The blacks you can see here already will let you see where I going to exaggerate a little now. Just you see, this will all be black. So if I'm going to exaggerate some stuff here, so let's reset this again. But anyway, we have our marks here. So the red zones are highlights, what means they are totally white, 255 white, so that we can see where we lose details. And it doesn't matter in any way if you have some pixels that are purely white. Okay, you want to have as little as possible. So what we're going to do first, or what I'm going to do first here, is I'm trying to start with my exposure. I know that I want to bring my exposure a little bit down. In fact, what I want to achieve is I want to get rid of the white. So if I bring my exposure up, I will increase the white levels. So till here I feel that it's quite okay. I'm going to have a look what I can achieve by moving the recovery. You will see the gray area in the histogram to the right, and then I want to give it some fill light on the other hand. So I click here on the fill light area, and then I'm pressing the left mouse button, going to drag the mouse to the right and concentrate mostly on the person in the foreground, because I want to have her a little bit more lit. Then again, a little bit more exposure. Means I can turn back the fill light a little. And I certainly want to have some more blacks, and I see in the left corner here on this side we see that some totally black pixels will appear. I don't want to go that far, but I surely want to have a look. We already at strong contrast. I want to have a look at the before and after picture, and I'm quite happy so far. So just for the tone settings, what this video is all about, going to the right, we have some more loss in detail. here. Slightly down with the exposure a little bit. Just playing around a little more with the fill light and now, and a little bit more black. So I turn off the triangles to have a look at it. I'm quite happy with this. And again, the comparison. And now let's have a look at the numbers. So we went nearly a quarter of a stop down with the exposure, and be honest, would you have dragged the recovery slider totally to 93 out of 100? Certainly you wouldn't. And the fill light, what I normally don't use that much, is at 17, and the blacks I'm quite addicted to put it to 8 or 10, but you see I went to 18, and this is just by the feel, because I was so focused on the histogram here that I really didn't had a look at the numbers. And of course there can be some critics who say, okay, you see the numbers right below here in the histogram itself. So if you have a look here at the exposure area, you see the quarter of a stop, you see the fill light plus 17, you see the blacks plus 16, you see the recovery plus 93. But what you do whilst working is, in fact, you just don't look from the left to the right, from the histogram to the image. You are more focused on the image than if you would do that in the exposure. At least this is my experience. So whether you do your tone settings via the tone panel or via the histogram, try both and look what you are in certain cases are most comfortable with. So I hope you like this. Have a great day shooting and editing, and see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.